Satnam Aloha, everyone. So today I want to talk about the sun in the 16th gate. But before I get into that, I wanted to share a few personal things from me. So last week I had my solar return. And so you can, if you know astrology, you can create a solar return chart. So it gives you a lot of information on the themes that you'll be working on for the year ahead to your next solar return. And last year, 2024 to 25, I was a Scorpio rising. So what does that mean? That means that I had the experience of being in a Scorpio body for the year. And I was fortunate, I want to say, to feel the intensity of the emotions and the feelings, to feel the high alert. My nervous system was on high alert. I got to go through a lot of pain in my body, and I have a Leo body, so it's filled with passion and drive and optimism. It's very solar, right? It's ruled by the sun. Plus I have a Taurus stellium, so it takes a lot of abuse for my body to act up and lash out, right? And I've done it in the past. I'm not perfect. But I went through so much pain last year in my body, so much pain. And my systems just completely shut off, like digestive system, just gone, elimination system, gone, no rhyme or reason. So now in hindsight, I see why, because I made such a pivot this year with serving the divine feminine and understanding the Scorpio body, right? So I didn't run and try to fix it, on the external. I listened to it. And I've done a lot of emotional work, but not really working with the physical body per se. So that was the information about, the body's communicating to you that things are not correct for you in your life, right? So I was able to make those adjustments and kind of get through that process. So that's what I'm sharing with you on my fractal, the Pluto and Scorpio generation, the stellium in Scorpio or stellium in the 8th house, or Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio. So, I went through a huge transformational process last year. So I'm appreciative of it. It was the dark night of the year. It wasn't just the dark night of just one day, one night. It was like the whole year was that, but it was very, very transformative. So on my solar return this year, I am an Aquarius rising, which is a whole different animal, and I really feel it. I felt it. The imprint happened like almost immediately. So that's like I've been lifted from the bowels of the unconscious and into the sky, right into outer space. I can really, really feel it. So Aquarius is definitely related to technology, and technology has been my wheelhouse right from the very beginning, like the early 90s. I was writing the HTML code, right? I had my computer, my 64 megs of RAM, and I think I had a half a gig or something. I thought I was rocking it, right? Way back then. So technology's always been with me, right? Technology, but now I'm really interested in the future. And Aquarius is about the future. So this is what I want to share with you on this video. More teachings and insights and transmissions about the future. It's like, okay, we've done the healing, we've done the inner child work, the shadow work, the trauma work, right? And now what? Well, we co-create the future, right? So this is the sun in the 16th gate, okay? So if we go back to, and I'm also going to incorporate solar return charts in my readings from now on too, because they're very, very accurate. Okay, so this video we're going to go over the sun in the 16th gate. That's in there now. We'll go over the cross of planning, this 400 year or thereabouts global cycle that's coming to a close. It's already 2025. We'll go over the keys and locks, and then the 16th key is related to this, that's ending, and there's a new key coming in. So this is about you aligning with the energy of what's coming, right? Now it's time it's time for you to make a pivot, Fractal. And then I want to talk about AI and the cross of sleeping phoenix. And then we'll do a phoenix fractal read, a twin flame message and false twin message, and the human design type messages. Okay, so let's just dig in here. And so this is the chart as of today, May 28th, Wednesday. And you can see that the 16, right? The sun's in the 16 here, and so is Mercury. This is the gate of skills. It's the gate of skills. And it's the shadow of indifference, and it's the gift of versatility, according to Gene Keys. Okay, so there's the 16. So what do we want to say about the 16 is, this is, just a second, I got to get this up here. So indifference isn't about being cold-hearted, right? We normally think, oh, people are so indifferent to the suffering of the world. It's not about cold-heartedness, this shadow. It's about an emotional disconnection as a survival strategy. So we'll show up as not seeming to care, pretending not to care, withholding your enthusiasm, right? I got to remain cool and chill, or disengaging from purpose when you feel unseen or unworthy. It's the sour grapes, right? The story of the fox and the sour grapes. Oh, I didn't want it anyway, right? That's indifference. And it's really saying, the shadow is really saying, if I don't try, I can't fail, right? If I don't care, I can't be hurt. So that's the 16th gate. Okay, so I want to bring it to the fractal so we can ground this energy. Okay, so there's the indifference and then peace. So my fractal line has come from past lives of crises, right? A lot of crises, a lot of chaos, a lot of survival stuff, right? It's in your nervous system, in your body, divine feminines, right? So what do you want? What do you want? Ultimately, you want peace in this lifetime, right? So there's a difference between peace and indifference, right? So here's what you want, the positive, right? It's like you want to feel safe in your body. You want that nervous system to calm down. You want to be open and receptive as the divine feminine in this lifetime. Out of the Cathars crisis, being persecuted for speaking the truth, right? Burned alive. You want to move from the Mordor into the Shire, right? That's what you want in this lifetime. So safe in the body, you want simplicity. You want sacred simplicity. Okay, this is what you want at the soul level. At the soul level. I'm not talking about your wounded self that's like addicted to stress and crises. You want soul-rooted pleasure, and you want stability, and you want to trust life. You want to trust the people around you. And this is the reward of having transmuted the Scorpio shadow. It's the stillness after the storm, right? That calm after the rainbow, after the storm, right? This is the garden after the purge, So it's not avoiding pain, it's refusing to be defined by it, right? So that's peace. Yes, I understand this. And then gate 16, which is phasing out, and I'll talk about that in a bit. The 16th shadow of indifference says, well, it's fine, I'm fine. Why stir things up? Why stir things up in my life? And this is the trap, right? Because you're repressing your soul's desire and your passion in the name of stability. That's what you're doing. And it's false peace. It's not real. So you call resignation, right? Giving up. I'm just going to give up. I'm not going to try. I'm going to be the high priestess in hiding. And you call this peace, right? This is the shadow. You confuse silencing your voice with safety. With safety, there's a confusion there. This is indifference. You accept less because it seems easier than to change. Well, I'm good over here, you know, it's not my dream, but it's good enough, right? This is the shadow of indifference taking over you. It's not you, it's not who you are. But indifference is not peace. This isn't what you're looking for. Your soul's not looking for this. It's called numbness. You're numbing out. And it's the avoidance of your Scorpio depth, right? So Pluto and Scorpio, Scorpio stellium, you're a deep, deep ocean, right? But you're not meant to drown in the ocean. That's the fear, that you're going to drown in this ocean, but it's your depth. And this is what you're avoiding. So some questions to ask yourself, right? How does my body feel right now? Do I feel grounded, receptive, open? And that's peace. Do I feel heavy, tight, contracted, or dull? Right? That's indifference. What's the emotion underneath? What do I feel? What's the emotion underneath my body's feelings? I feel content. I feel content. I feel fulfilled. Right? This is peace. Do I feel apathy? Like blah, the blahs, right? I'm bored, blah, blah, blah. Or you fear things changing. I don't want things to change. I don't want to be pushed out of my comfort zone. Is this supporting? Is this relationship supporting my soul's growth? Is this career supporting my soul's growth? Is this place of living supporting my soul's growth? Yes, it's totally doing that. It's nourishing my mission. No, it's completely sedating me, right? It's sedating my fire and my passion. No, that's indifference. Am I trusting the process of becoming my highest potential, right? Am I trusting the Phoenix path? Right? Am I trusting that? Yes, I'm present. I'm present to the changes I'm going through. No, I'm disengaged. That's indifference. You see? So that's something to keep in mind, right? You want peace, not indifference, right? And that's the payoff of transmuting your Scorpio shadow work. And that's what you're here to do. And you're here to teach others how to do this as we move in to the cross of the sleeping phoenix, right? You're the head of the wave. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to remind you why you came to planet Earth, right? And it's not to be an indifferent and just numbed out. That's not you, Scorpio. You're the deepest feelers in the zodiac, are the Scorpios. That's the intensity, right? But you're built to transmute. So let's look at the locks and keys right here. And I think I mentioned these before in a previous video. So you can see this is the last of the wheel, basically, of the human species right here. This is where we come to an end. As we know it, the human species ends in 3,262. So way, way into the future. 1,000 years, 1,200 years. Okay, so there's things. So this is the global cycles, and this is what motivates humanity. It's motivating humanity, and it's all about our evolution. So there's things called locks and keys. So the lock never changes, right? The lock remains 25, 46, 10, 15, and then there's other ones on the other side, but I don't want to overwhelm you here. And then there's the keys. And there's the keys, right? The 37, the 40, and the 9, and the 16. And this is part of the cross of planning, right? And then 2027 kicks in, right? So we're ending this 400-year plus global cycle. And then the keys are different. And so just take note, if you have these, then you're going to really resonate with this new global cycle that's coming in. And this is the new world. And that's why the cards have been showing me over and over and over again, is to get you out of these karmic loops that you're in, because your karmics aren't part of this new world. Your karmics are part of the cross of planning, your karmic relationships, right? You're built for this. You're built for this. Now, not all Pluto and Scorpios, but definitely my fractal is made for cross of sleeping phoenix. So the keys are going to be changing. So the 55, the 59, the 34, and the 20 right here. So you can see that 16 is one of the major keys in the cross of planning. See? And now it's going to be changing into the 20. So that means the way that we approach life has to shift and change. And that's what I want to help and guide you with, right? It's like, okay, it's time to shift gears. And I've been shifting gears, definitely shifting in more into this 20, the key of 20. That's going to open up the 15 lock here. Right? So if we look at this image here, right? So there's the 15, there's the lock, and there's the key, the 16th key. This is leaving, right? For 2027, it's going to be gone. It's dissolving now. I can feel it. So the cross of planning, just briefly here, is about old world support, structure, institutions, and training people to serve the system. It was all about the system, the cross of planning. Right? So what it required from you is expectation, obligation, and duty. You play the role, and then you succeed here, right? And now the 20, this is the sleeping phoenix coming. The 20th key is going to be opening this lock now. No more 16. Now it's going to be the 20. Right? So this is not about serving the system anymore. It's not about serving the system. So the cross of sleeping phoenix, 2027, the 2438, awakens people to serve the signal. Right? And this is, the signal is your soul signal. So this is the inner knowing, its frequency, and its individual truth. Individual truth here. So let's talk about this 16 a little bit more. And this is what worked in the past, right? To open up the 15. And the 15 is about magnetism, right? So magnetism is about, you do this and then you attract opportunities and success and outer rewards, right? All that stuff. So cross the planning, you're serving the system. Well, you play a role. You get the certification, you get the training, you get the diploma, you get the degree. You climb the ladder and you prove yourself useful to the system. So this was the survival code for the cross of planning. And this was a world built on structures of service, gate 16, right? Skills, hierarchies of expertise. You were rewarded for mastery and repetition. And then you had to suppress your own natural rhythm, your own chaos, and your own soul. So cross of planning in the 15 here, this was about time, right? So our time was structured. It started right from school age, right? This is where what time you arrive at the classroom. This is the time you go to recess or lunch. And then it's setting you all up to be a good worker, right? So you were out of touch with your own natural rhythm, So, but anyway, that's another video on time. Because I had a lot to share about that. So you likely played these roles flawlessly so far. The teacher, the life coach, the healer, the therapist, the good daughter, the sister, the friend, the wife, the partner, the responsible leader, the one who gets measurable results, right? It was all about outcome. So you competed, maybe not outwardly, but internally, because it was all about being the best, to earn value through excellence, to become the expert. And this is changing, right? The gate 16, this isn't going to work anymore. This is not going to be working anymore. So this is like write the book, right? Write the book, get all the letters behind your name. Get the best interviews on television and magazines, and then you're an expert, right? People come to you because you're the expert. This is changing. It's not going to work anymore. So the new key is this 20th gate, right? The 20th gate. And the 20th gate, let me just get the chart up again here. So there's the 20, and it's also coming off the throat. But this is a different flavor, right? This 20. This is what you want to start to embrace, right? So this is the, right? The gate of now. It's all about presence. It's all about embodiment. So this is part of the cross of the sleeping phoenix that's coming. And this is the gate of I am, right? I am. So this is spontaneous expression. It's your truth in the present moment. It says, I speak not to play a role to serve this system, but because I'm aligned with life force. I'm aligned with the signal of my soul. This is overflow, right? You're overflowing with this energy you have to express, and it has to be in the present now moment. So you can see there's, maybe I'll do my next video on time. So this is not the gate of rehearsed skill. It's not about your training and all your qualifications. It's the gate of your soul's embodiment. It's about being real. It's about being authentic and true. And that opens this 15th lock, this magnetizing, right? Magnetizing opportunities and all the things, the people, the resources that you need, right? So it magnetizes opportunities to you. So the mutation, because this is a mutation that's happening, the keys are changing. It moves from proving yourself. You got to prove yourself, right? I'm not going to listen to you unless you've got a bunch of letters behind your name or you've written a best-selling book. You're speaking from yourself. I'm not interested, right? Who are you? What right do you have to speak? Well, that's stopping, right? No more proving yourself. It's about being yourself. Authenticity is your new currency, right? It's being your true self. The mutation now moves from performing, right? Playing a role. This is how a teacher acts, right? This is the performance that I'm in. A teacher says this, a teacher doesn't say that. Teacher dresses this way. That's the performance. Now it's radiating. Doesn't matter about dress and decorum and all that. Now it's about radiating your truth, your frequency. So from rehearsed expression to spontaneous transmission, right here. So the rat is the totem animal. And this is about indifference. Yeah. So anyway, I don't want to get too much into the rat here. But the rat kind of, what do I want to say about it? So the rat is, so this is, the rat lives alongside us. This is what I'm looking for. In the walls, in the waist, it's adaptable, it's quick, it's skilled and desensitized. But it's just survival without a soul. It's numb, it's survival in a skill-based, obsessed world. So this is, the rat says you can be very good at something without being engaged. You can be praised for your skill while being dead inside. You can become a cog in the machine like a rat in the maze going through the emotions, right? Not really being there. And I remember my not self, because I've been on this journey, like in terms of self-employment and just following my heart, my intuition, since 2008. I want to say 2008. That really is when it kicked off for me. That I would go through periods in my life where it's like, oh, I just want to get a job, right? I get a job, slinging coffees, doing some mundane, meaningless work so that I can hide. And this is indifference. That's the hiding. Because the work that I do now, it's like I can't not be me and not show up as me, right? How can I be on this video and not be me, right? But this is what this new world is requiring of all of us now. Is we have to show up as ourselves. It can't be a hollow performance. You can't hide anymore. Okay, but if we go into AI, right? With AI, well, this is skills. This is the gate of skills. And look at, since Pluto's been in Aquarius, AI has come in really, really strong. It's like everywhere now, right? So AI is replacing skills, right? So remember, the gate 16 is part of the cross of planning. The shadow of indifference is rising globally. This indifference, this energy of indifference. So these are people that are skilled, but they're disconnected. They're not connected to their soul. They're just the head on the stick. Perfection is valued more than presence. Humans have become rats in a productivity maze now. But this is a gift, right? I see this as a gift with AI coming in and doing things much better and faster and more efficient than a human, right, can. And I'll go into the flip side of that. Right? But the gift is that the AI's taken over this gate, right? And the system will collapse so that the soul can reawaken. So the rat's not bad, but it's a reminder. You can survive, but will you remember why you're alive and why you're here? Okay. So AI is a real threat to us, to humans, with this 16th gate. So I said the blessing, but it's also a threat. So AI threatens everything this gate 16 has built in our world so far. So AI models now can simulate almost any skill: graphic design, script writing, coding, writing, video editing, music, art production, and much, much more. So the spiritual wound of humanity right now in this moment, whether humans realize this or not, is if I'm no longer special for my skills, what's been motivating me, the 16th gate, what do I have to offer the world? So this is the death of the gate 16 identity, the false self, right? The one that believed what you did, right? Gave you your sense of worth. And it's one of the first questions that people ask you. What do you do for a living? Right? It gives people that sense of worth. So that's dying. And, okay. So with the AI threat, is really this replacement, right? And this is the AI is going to replace humans. So many, and it's a death and rebirth process. So many are feeling panic over AI replacing their identity as a skilled healer or an expert reader or a therapist or a life coach or a teacher. And so there's grief over no longer being valued for how good you are at something. Right? It's like, oh, I'm an amazing writer. Well, AI can spit out a book in a minute or less, right? And there can be confusion about how to contribute in a world where frequency is trumping form. And this is the new world that's coming. And I'm going to show you how. Okay. Well, the first thing you want to do is you don't want to compete. Right? You don't want to compete because AI can replicate, right? It can totally replicate you, right? So if you're only identified with your mind and you're not present in your body, yes, you will be replaced. Yes, AI will steal your job. If you're identified solely with your mind and not present in your body. If, like, say, if you're a therapist, right, that tells and teaches her clients, value yourself, right? And you haven't done the work, right? And you don't value yourself at all. You're not in integrity. Well, AI will take your words, it will take the book that you wrote, it will take your methods, and it will replicate you, right? There you are, you're replaced. But if you have done the inner work, AI can never replicate you because you're a frequency, a living vibration of truth that cannot be replicated. And this is what really will do the healing now, not words empty of soul, right? That's not what does the healing. It's frequency, right? And Aquarius is all about frequency. So no algorithm can touch you, right? Code can't feel. Code can't feel. So AI is really serving humanity to go back into being, right? Into being. And I want to use an example of, did I get that slide? Let me see. So you can see how AI can simulate skill and style and words and accuracy and perform, of course, right? Even polarity can simulate polarity and sex too. But it can't embody soul, aura, frequency, compassion, presence, and love. And this is what makes you, your authenticity. So there's even, there are robots now that can give expert massages, right? They have mechanical mastery, consistency, precision. So they can be trained to replicate pressure points, muscle manipulation, even complex massage techniques like shiatsu or deep tissue, right? Through motion capture and force feedback systems. They're already trying to replace doctors too with AI, right? So it has consistency in terms of it can deliver consistent pressure, angle, and movement without getting tired, not needing to sleep, right? Not needing to recharge. So very efficient. It can be an efficient massage here. And then it has precision, and it has sensors and AI learning, and it can eventually adjust based on muscle tension, resistance, or physiological feedback, right? And there's chairs now, AI chairs with muscle mapping, right? So if you're a massage therapist, right? Well, yes, the robot can do that, but the robot can't do this. It can't read emotions or energy. It's not attuned to subtle shifts of breath and tears and tension release. It can't hold a sacred presence, right? Because as a therapist, a massage therapist, you don't just touch a body. You're entering into an auric field of that person, right? So the embodiment work brings intention, containment, and safety. AI can't do that. And then you channel healing. You open a portal to ancestral memory. You sense grief stored in the hips, right? Or you match the transmission of I see you through your hands on a heart, right? So this is like, right, that you have to be yourself for the cross of the sleeping phoenix, else you're going to be replaced. And whatever you do, you'll be replaced. Okay. So that's what I wanted to cover about that. I mean, there's lots more to share, and I'll share more about the future, right, with this new Cross of the Sleeping Phoenix coming. Okay, so let's go to the readings, and we're going to do the fractal line reading here. So I use the O cards. The oh boy cards. Yeah. And so they work with the subconscious, so the subconscious mind. So if you're on your phone, be sure to magnetize and look at the image and the word right here. So what do we got here? Let's start with the O cards. So this was, my question was, what's the subconscious block of my fractal this week for this transmission? And you got destroy, and then you got the with the picture of a fireplace for the people that are listening on the podcast too, and then the word share, and then sheep coming out of the fence. Okay, so this is the hearth, right? It's the hearth of the house. The hearth of the house is the fire, right? And so this is it's a cozy fire. It's the rug. It's a sense of safety here. And the key words are comfort, your comfort zone, ritual space containment here. So the shadow message is the fractals clinging to a false sense of safety and familiarity, right? And comfort. You're clinging to comfort here. And you're no longer activating, right? Yourself. You're not on the Phoenix. You're not fully on the Phoenix path is what this card is saying. So you want to be warm, right? This is your ego wants to be warm. I want to be comfortable. I want to be indifferent, right? I don't want to be raw. I don't want to be in my, right? I don't want to be in the crucible and the fires of the Phoenix, right? I want to be here. And this is saying to destroy this, right? To destroy this. So you want to feel the illusion of connection and not the truth of your wildness. So the false fire, this is the hearth of the past, right? Must be destroyed in order to ignite, right? To ignite your passion and your the you, right? The authentic you. Okay, so you're stagnating, right? You're stagnating. That's what this is saying. And you think you're doing the work, but you're not, right? You're not doing it. If it's about the past and recreating the past, and I just want to be comfortable and I want to stay hiding, the high priestess and hiding, you want to destroy this because this is what's keeping you from your growth and your soul's evolution and why you've come to this planet, right? And then you've got the shepherd and the sheep and the word share. So this is about you afraid of sharing yourself, right? Afraid of sharing your truth, your energy. And this is the belief that your success will harm others, either my family, right? My partner, my community, if I rise in my power, or I'll be kicked out of the tribe, right? So this, if I shine, right? This is the belief of I shine, someone I love is going to feel small and feel bad about themselves. And this is a trap, right? That's a soul trap. So this is you holding yourself back because you're still entangled in your ancestral roles and your family roles of the caretaker or the martyr or the obedient daughter, right? And so sharing is a betrayal of your subconscious if you were to share and spread your light, right? But you're withholding, and this is spiritual constipation right here. So the subconscious block, fractal, is if you open the gate, the sheep will scatter, right? If I share too much, I'll lose control or I'll be judged, right? So this is like it's time to open the real gate, right? The fire that you've been tending to, like your roles and your comfort, must be destroyed. This is the old you, has to go, right? That's clinging to comfort. So then you can share your true frequency, your gifts, your voice, and your presence, right? So that's what to do there. And then let's look at the cards. Okay, so Three of Pentacles. The Divine Feminine wants to build, but are we safe, right? Are we safe to do so? So you're ready to collaborate. You're ready to join with others, but with caution. You're very cautious. So you crave real contribution and true co-creation. You want that, but only if the environment feels safe, because you've been exploited before. You've been burned, right? You've been asked to carry the load. Had to do all the heavy lifting before. And you've dimmed your brilliance so that you could stay small, right? And now you have to ask, now you're asking, Divine Feminine, if I bring my gifts forward, will I be honored or will I be devoured and destroyed? So this confirms this card, right? With the share card. So the gate's creaking open, right? It's creaking open, but your wound is still raw about working with others and sharing yourself and coming out of hiding. And then the Wheel of Fortune. And this is big energy, right? The Wheel of Fortune. And so this is change is already in motion. The wheel is turning for you. divine feminines, and the timeline's shifting, the field is moving, your energetic field around you is moving, and you feel it. You feel it. You can feel the change in the air. So there's a cosmic momentum building, an invitation that you can't explain, but you can no longer ignore this, right? So this is stirring you out of this, of stasis and stagnation. So this is like change, but right, you're not feeling the direction yet. You're not feeling the direction yet, and this creates fear in the body, right? So this is where this comes from, is it? This one, the Seven of Pentacles, right? Is it worth it? Right? Is it worth it? This is waiting. It's like looking out the window, right? Is this really worth it to do this? If I step now, will anything bloom? Right? If I act on my intuition, right? To really go for it with my soul purpose, right? Will it be worth it? Right? Will anything bloom? So this is hesitation from your past, that you were burned in your past attempts. But underneath the delay here is, what if I give all my all and I still get nothing, right? So this is a numbness. This is indifference. You're not stuck. You're just scared. You're not stuck. You're just scared to hope again, right? To have not worst case scenario, but a best case scenario, right? And remember that the field is changing, right? The Wheel of Fortune says that things are changing for positive. Wheel of Fortune is very positive. And then the Eight of Pentacles reversed is you're saying, Divine Feminine, I'm not ready yet. So this is the perfectionist, right? This is the 16, I need more skills, right? This is the old cross the planning way. This is the shadow. Let me refine my offer, right? A little bit more. Let me work on my website a little bit more. Maybe do this a little bit more. I got to study this and do this. And this is keeping you in paralysis. And so it's like, I don't want to be seen like failing, right? Failing. So it's a procrastination card here too. So the shadow is you're putting your skill over you, your presence. And your presence, your frequency is what you need to align with now, not your skills. It's not about your skills anymore. So it's shame, right? You'll feel like you're being humiliated or whatever. And so get the new gate, right? The new gate, the new key. The 20 says show up anyway. Show up wild and messy, but show up authentic. Right? And then the devil, right? The devil card makes an appearance here as the anchor card. And this is, but what if I'm punished? Right? So this is the root system. The devil represents the system, right? The system that we're leaving. So this is the internalized authority, that voice in your head that says, don't share, don't shine. You'll be left behind if you outgrow the tribe. You'll be lonely. You'll be all alone. And this is the last tether, right? To false security. And it's exactly what needs to burn, right? So this is like Pluto and Scorpio. You were born in this energy, this devil energy, right? Fear, right? The shadow, all of that stuff. You're made for this, to transmute this. So don't let this stop you. Don't let this stop you. So the devil's not blocking your power, right? The devil isn't blocking your power. He's guarding the door to it. He's the guard. He's the bouncer that you have to move through, right? So he's not blocking you. You've got to face it. Right? You've got to face it, and you were born to walk through this. My fractal is born for this. So you have to stop putting the devil on a pedestal and listening to that voice of fear here. Okay, so that's the fractal for the wound. And then let's go for the twin flame here. So this is for the false twin and the true twin. We'll read them from different perspectives. So what needs to be destroyed? What needs to end the false twin cycle? And remember, the false twin is connected to the cross of planning energy, right? The false twin does not have the codes to walk with you into the new cross of the sleeping phoenix. That's not how it works, right? The false twin is showing you the mirror of your wounding. It's showing you the mirror of your false self, right? So you have to remember that. It's like, okay, I got the reflection, I got the wounding, and I'm grabbing my power back now. I'm not giving my power over to the false twin anymore. Okay. So what's keeping you stuck in this karmic loop, this false twin illusion that you're in? So the Seven of Swords, right? The Seven of Swords here. So the false twin bond, this is like energetic theft. It's pretending, it's soul leakage here. So this is built, your false twin is built on inauthenticity. So either you or your false twin aren't fully telling the truth, especially to yourself, right? About this relationship. So there's a covert control, right? Not honest mirroring. So often you'll feel drained after the connection and not nourished. You feel drained. So again, Divine Feminine is listen to your body. How do I feel in the presence of this karmic relationship? Am I open? Am I receptive? Probably not. You're constricted. You're on guard, right? You're on guard and you're drained afterwards. So you convince yourself this is karmic, right? It's karmic. It must be deep. He's my soulmate. He's my soulmate. No, it's your karmic contract that's been already ripped. We got that from the last reading. But it's not a deep soulmate connection. It's familiar, right? It's familiar. It echoes your childhood pain, right? It's a trauma bond, and you're afraid to leave. So the illusion that this connection is spiritually significant when it's actually draining your life force, your false twin. And then the King of Wands here for your false twin. This is the spiritual narcissist. This is the inflated masculine, right? The one that looks powerful, he looks visionary, he looks evolved, but he's completely emotionally unavailable. He's completely disconnected from his soul, from his intuition, all of that, right? He's not embodied, basically. He's not embodied, and he's pretending, right? He speaks the language. He has the language, right? He's got the language of the AI. He's like an AI bot, right? But they don't do the work. He's got the language, but he doesn't do the inner work. He doesn't do the work. He leads with charisma, but he can't sit in your fire. He can't sit in your chaos. So destroy the worship of potential. Stop looking at his potential and the attraction to powerful partners who offer leadership without emotional integrity, without that embodiment, right? And then the Page of Wands, which is the inner child. So this is the wounded inner child hook. So false twin bonds often look at the level of unmet innocence here. So they can make you feel seen, and in a way that no one else did. They mirror your early life abandonment patterns perfectly, your false twin, right? So you think it's a connection, but it's a trauma reenactment, right? It's a trauma bond. So you need to destroy the belief that pain equals depth. That's a belief that has to go. That chemistry equals destiny, that we have chemistry, so it must be destined. This is karmic, right? That this person completes a childhood fantasy of, oh, I talked about this, the father wound, right? Finally, my father loves me. He's chosen me. He's with me. He's committed to me. That's a fantasy that has to be destroyed. And to look at this in truth, right? And then the fantasy loop is you keep living in this potential. Maybe when he heals, maybe he'll love me when he heals. Maybe he'll be devoted when he heals, Maybe he'll awaken soon. Maybe I just need to wait a little bit longer for him, right? But meanwhile, tick tock, the time is going, right? Cross of sleeping phoenix is coming closer and closer. Right? But nothing's changing. Nothing's changing. You've waited, nothing's changing. And then this is about destroying the future fantasy, right? The when they awaken loop, right? If it hasn't come into integrity by now, it's not going to. If they're not rising now, it's not going to. They're not supposed to, right? On your soul's journey, they're not supposed to. And then you got the King of Pentacles reversed as the anchor. And this is control, it's possession, it's transactional love, cross-of planning love, tit for tat, right? So this is the karmic masculine that says, I will provide, right? I'll give you I'll provide, I'll pay the rent, I'll pay the bills, most of the bills, right? I'll protect you, but I will own you. That's the transaction. I own you. I control you, right? I will help you if you obey me. I'll be here as long as you don't outgrow me. I'll be here as long as you don't outshine me or outgrow me. So this can show up as you abandoning yourself for safety, right? And protection. So you want to destroy this unconscious agreement that you're in, that I will shrink. I will shrink in order to be loved. This is not love. This is a contract, right? So this has to go with the false twin. So let's read it from the true twin, your true twin. So this is Seven of Swords. So deception, avoidance, and self-betrayal. This is the running, right? Divine masculine. Twin flame is running. Ghosting. No contact, no communication. This is hidden motives. This is like telling yourself, I'm okay with separation. I'm okay with it. When your soul is screaming otherwise, your soul is screaming, you're dreaming about your twin, you feel your twin around you, but you're lying to yourself and say, it doesn't really matter. This connection doesn't matter. You're pretending you're not already connected to your twin, right? Just because it's not in form, right? You're pretending that it's not there. So this is the strategy of the ego card here. This is for the true twin, right? Thinking it can outplan the soul, right? It can outrun the soul, right? The divine plan of the true twin flames. So what must be destroyed is the belief that truth is dangerous. That truth is dangerous. That if you speak it and you actually say, no, this person is my twin flame, I know it. Right? If you speak it, you'll lose the other. That withholding is safer than surrender. Withholding, right? So surrender is surrendering finally to the divine, right? So that's the whole purpose of the true twin flame connection, is that you surrender to the divine here. And then the King of Wands. So this is the masculine mask, right? The masculine mask. And so looking powerful, but burning alone. So this can represent either one of you. So it could be for the divine feminines, it can be the Queen of Wands if you want that, or the King of Wands. So this is the one who feels called, passionate, and creative, but can't trust anyone to meet them there. No, the twin's not going to rise, right? I'm in this space. They're not going to rise. I'll lead, but I will not let them see me suffer. I won't let them see me bleed, basically, right? I'll shine for the world, but I won't let you come in. I won't let you come in. So what must be destroyed here, Divine Feminines, is the illusion of independence. The illusion of independence. So the myth that passion must be controlled, and the idea that power equals isolation, that you have to be isolated if you're powerful. And then the Page of Wands, right? This is the innocent desire to begin again, to start again. So this is the vulnerable, almost childlike part of the soul that says, can we start over, right? Can we start fresh from like just a whole new chapter, right? Can I speak the truth this time to you, right? Can we follow the spark instead of the plan, the ego's plan? Can we just follow the connection, our connection, not the ego's plan? So this is a trapped page here. So the fire is real, but it's buried under caution, hesitation, and a huge fear of rejection and abandonment. So what must be destroyed here is looking foolish, right? Looking foolish and suppressing your voice, and the refusal to take the first step unless I have guarantees that my twin's not going to reject me, right? And then the Two of Wands is waiting, right? So this is the mirror of the delay. Maybe one day, maybe when he's ready, right? Maybe when it's easier, maybe when it's easier. But in truth, you've already chosen your wand. You know it's your twin, right? You've already seen the vision, right? But you're just waiting for permission. So what must be destroyed is that the illusion that timing is outside of your control. It's outside of you. The habit of projecting into the future instead of embodying this now. Embodying this now. This connection. And then the King of Pentacles reversed as the anchor. And so this is, it represents choosing comfort over alignment. Choosing your comfort over alignment. Prioritizing financial safety over your soul's truth. And this is masculine energy that provides but doesn't feel. So this is the provider mask, secure on the outside and spiritually bankrupt on the inside. It's the king who built a castle but forgot his heart, forgot the heart. So what must be destroyed is the belief that security is more important than truth. Spiritual truth, that comfort is more sacred than soul fire. And this is the death of the patriarchal masculine within both of you, right? Within both of you, that security is more important than the soul. Material security is more important than the soul. So that has to change. Okay, so that's the twins. And then let's quickly go through the projectors. And so this is a little, though, the old cards are a little bit X-rated here. So there's a theme, and I thought maybe I'll do the tarot when this came up. And what's really interesting is people that have been at the Lilith retreat, we got the rot card, the Lilith hot seat. Somebody got the rot card, this word rot, and that was the masculine version of this, right? So this is, I've had to censor this because of YouTube, but those are breasts under there, and that's the female sex organ down there, right? So what is this saying here? So this is the core wound of the projectors. So this is a deep energetic wound around being open and unseen. So this is having your aura available to guide, support, and hold space, but nobody's really recognized your worth, right? So this is a naked female body, opened and exposed, lying still. And then there's the word rot, right? This could be also like time running out, like the word rot, like time's running out, so I better just give. I just give of my body, my sacredness, right, of my body here. That may resonate with some of you projectors. So this is about being available, but not being valued, not being honored, right? Projector women, you want your masculine, your divine masculine, to be treating you like a goddess, right? Not something, not an object to be used. That's the weak masculine. So this is what happens when you're open for too long without invitation. The body shuts down, your body shuts down, and the energy begins to decay, and the bitterness starts to build. And then you've got the next card, which is take. And this exposes how projectors were taught, consciously or unconsciously, that their value lies in what others can extract from them, what others can get from you. So this is like being used for your insight, but never deeply invited, being seen as helpful, but never sacred, and performing your role, but never fully received. So if you're feeling shut down, tired, unseen, or bitter, this is why. The rot isn't you, right? So the other thing to note too with projectors, because they have an absorbing, you always hear like a penetrating aura the projector has, but also the projector has an absorbing aura. So that fits with this too, with the body, because Ra talked about this, is if you go out in public, everyone can sense that you're a projector, and they just start projecting onto you. And so you're taking in all this energy, you're absorbing all of this energy, and that's why it can be so tiring to be out in public, especially with large groups of people. So that's this too. It's like to energetically protect yourself and know that you're like this sponge, right? And this rotting of your body, you can feel a bit like this sometimes, right? He used to say it's like a gangbang, when projectors are out in public because of the energy being thrown at them. Okay. So let's go for the manifesting generators. And we got a little theme here happening. So these are O cards, manifesting generators. And so these are your subconscious blocks, right? So this is the word is laughter, and it's a box, right there. And this is about, it shows you're vulnerable, because the word naked, and then hiding the genitals here. So this shows your raw, vulnerable, erotic self, right? So not your sexuality, yes, but also your energies. And so this is an internalized shame here. And so these cards are saying that you were made to feel embarrassed about your sexuality. You were made to feel shameful about your sexuality. So this is, of course, going to your past lives as a Cathar. So you learn to laugh at it before anyone else could, right? Or you may have made yourself into a joke, a flirt, a performer, because it felt safer than being seen in your real power, right? So this is about self-mockery to avoid rejection. And this is also, too, about being controlled, having your sexuality controlled, right? So this is saying that that it's okay to take yourself seriously, and the way that others minimized you, right, taught you to minimize yourself. This is not safety, right? It's suppression, right? So this is you're exposed but ashamed, covering yourself. So this reflects a lifetime and a lineage of being sexualized but not sovereign, being seen but not honored, feeling watched rather than witnessed. You're watched. So this could be also a suppression of your sacred fire around your voice, your creativity, your sexuality, and your leadership. So this is moving fast to avoid stillness, where shame can creep in here too. So this is looking at any areas where you're feeling, repressed around your sexuality. Okay. So I've got to do this a little bit more quickly. My apologies to the types, but I've got a reading and a bit that I've got to get ready for here. Okay, so let's look at the manifestors. And the manifestors here is resisting healing your inner child. And you can see the adult, right? This is so a manifestor, right? Being controlled as a child, dragged along as a child. So there can be grief here, right? So your inner child was either dragged along without being asked, your boundaries weren't respected, left behind without being seen, expected to follow, not to lead. So this is, you've learned, if I'm going to be moved, it won't be on my own terms. So I'll resist everything until I can control the movement myself. Okay. So what you need to see this week is that resistance is not power, it's grief. It's the grief. And that control is often a shield, but built over an unmet need. And that expressing your truth isn't a loss of power, it's the gateway to actually being received here. So this could be an emotional resistance rooted in early shutdown or misalignment, and that you learn to move alone, to speak last or not at all, because leadership felt safer than vulnerability, than being vulnerable. But I would go here, is like go back, do some inner child work here. Okay. And then let's go for the generators. So the generators, you've got owe and give, which is really interesting. These two cards came out. So this is like you feel like you owe, right? So this is carrying a lot of energy. Generators generate a lot of energy. And so you were conditioned to believe that I owe the world my energy. I owe, right? This is like an unconscious energetic debt. And so you always feel like you owe somebody something, right? Like time, your help, your presence, your support. Even when you're depleted, you keep going, because to stop would feel like abandoning someone here, right? So this is your life force has been commodified. That's the world we live in the generator world, right? And it starts with the world, but often through your family, your partners, or your community. So this is the servant, the slave, right? It's rooted in survival, not truth. And then you've got, right? And there's the beggar. Everybody's begging for your energy, and you owe them, right? You've got to give them your energy. And then the word give here. And this is, if I keep giving, will people leave, right? Will they leave? If I keep showing up and they still don't value me, right? I keep showing up and they still don't value me. So this is, you've been giving beyond your sacral yes. And what's left is resentment, frustration, fatigue, and confusion about your role, right? What else do I want to say to this? You don't owe anybody your life force energy, right? Like, it's time to start setting boundaries, generator. Like, nobody has access to your energy. Nobody has the right to your energy. When the generators start waking up in the world, that's when we're going to start to really see change and shifts in the world. When you start saying, no, you don't have access to this energy. I get to choose how I spend this energy, right? So you've got to look at your generating energy as money. It's a currency. Okay. So let's go for the last, and this is the reflectors, and they got the word shame here. So this is an inner death of identity here. So this is your sensitive and intuitive mirror, but the mirroring truth brought rejection. You mirroring the truth brought you rejection over your lifetime, right? So you've internalized the message that there must be something wrong with me for seeing what I see, right? So this is soul shame, not for doing anything wrong, but for being who you are, right? So this has to go, this shame here of being shameful about who you are as a reflector. And then you've got boast here. So this is the shadow response to the shame. And this is trying to control the narrative, hiding your sensitivity behind intellect or spiritual performance. If I express my truth, the storm will come. So that you either boost or shrink to avoid the shame, right? So the shame isn't yours, right? That's what you need to know, reflector. It was projected onto your sensitivity. You don't need to overcompensate with brightness or wisdom or precision to prove your value. And you don't have to boast to be heard or disappear to feel safe. Okay. So the other thing I want to announce, and is the next retreat will be July 18th, 19th, and 20th. So keep that in your iCal or your notes, and I'll have more up about it. I just have to finish the Lilith retreat. I'm packing up all the files and the videos and the playlists and all that stuff for the participants for this week. But after that, I'll upload information, and yeah, it's going to be an amazing time. The Lilith retreat was amazing. Brought a lot of healing for me and the participants, and I'm excited to do it again. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I'm excited to do it again. It's very, very intense. Okay, so you can follow me on Instagram, Telegram, and the YouTube community page where I post daily, try to. And what else? You can like, share the video, and please write down your comments. I really, really appreciate reading them and feeling the feedback and the back and forth, and loving seeing you connect with your sisters on the Fractal. Okay? And when will I see you again? Friday. Hopefully Friday or Saturday, but I'm really in tune with the energy, because this is the new cross of the Sleeping Phoenix energy, and I have to be in the right frequency. Like me, I wanted this out yesterday. I was working on it the day before, and it was like, no, my frequency wasn't correct, because I had to go through that 16th shadow first before I could deliver this message. So anyway, I'll talk more and more about the future. Okay. Satnam Aloha, everybody. Take good care of yourselves.